The barn, the temple. The barn was an ancient temple. Several pieces of wood and, in Buddhist prayer, it was a huge building with a tin roof. The same old temple that had once surrounded the Edo castle. A good place to be when it rained because the tin roof made so much noise. Moved to Yanaka after surviving a big fire almost 300 years ago. The barn was always the place to be to ponder and just get away. Moved to Yanaka for safety after the earthquake. A place to butcher a fad calf for fresh beef. Where Buddhism grew and thrived. It was where the day began and ended. The temple withstood both disasters virtually unscathed. The barn held a lot of life's lessons, like biddies hatching, kittens being born. Housed the largest bronze statue. The barn was always a focal point for entertainment, a shrine that marks the place. There was never a dull minute around the barn. 30 feet down, the outer side of the barn was an open shed with a high roof. In a row, on that piece of wood, lined up in precise columns, up the wall to the hayloft, smooth to the touch. The barn had one room in it that was the corn crib. Over to the second beam, and part of the gable was exposed. The block of wood, splitting it in half. It had one door to enter, filling in the slit trenches. There were a few boards nailed together, down the support beam. The lower side of the barn that faced the pasture was a side shed the length of the barn. Masks to remember. The barn was very good sized. Similar 2-story wooden. Through the front gate. Support beams that held up. Against a wooden floor. The edge of the roof. A fresh pile of cow manure. A long sloping roof. Off the ground. With an identical slanting roof with jutting eaves. A piece of board with nails hammered in. And held up with pieces of wood, 4 or 5 feet high, from the floor, measuring 8 inches wide. The old wood and stone, where farm machinery was kept out of the rain. Down onto the tile roof, with a loft as big, to see in shadows, filled with hay, thick with the sweet scent of incense. There was one stall, the corner seam of the glass, used to pen the hogs for killing. Across the screen, just behind this stall and to the outer side of the barn, from the dark, the barn was pretty much the focal point of life. A prayer or blessing.